Come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, baby. Can't you see that I am not afraid? All right, what's up, everyone? Chris of Chef Sports Cards here. We're doing 2024 Top Series 1/3 Hobby Case Break number 27. 27. Wow. Hope everyone is well, having a good week, getting to Friday. For many of us, a good thing. For some of us, just the beginning of our week. Anyway, welcome, especially if you're new to the channel, welcome. A bit about us, we've been around for over 6 years now. We break mostly baseball. We ship all cards from every break. Well, let's get the Zamboni out. And we're very generous with the top loading. Sorry for the noise. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We do free breaks. When we do them, we use our subscriber list from YouTube for the random. Also, eBay continues to run their sweepstakes. No purchase necessary there. Go to any of our eBay listings. Look in the description at the very top. There's a link there. You click on that. You do what it says, and maybe you win some free cards. Hey, they're free. Can't hurt to try, right? And of course, chefsportscards.com, our pride and joy around here, our website. We actually got a bunch of stuff up there right now. Some Elite Extras and Big League. We just posted a whole bunch of pre-sale heritage stuff for next week. All pick your team stuff. So if you want to grab your team, head over there and grab your team. All right, let's go over the teams. D-backs, Robert B. Braves, Mark L. Orioles, Howard R. Red Sox, Robert B. Cubs, Ben A. Red Sox, Brendan F. Guardians, James T. Tigers, Aaron B. Royals. Brendan F. Astros, Robert B. Angels, Daniel B. Dodgers, Robert B. Brewers, Brendan F. Twins, Nathan G. Mets, Thomas M. Yankees, Joe R. A's, Nathan G. Phillies, David M. Pirates, Richard F. Cardinals, Robert B. Padres, Robert H. Giants, Robert B. A lot of B's tonight. Mariners, Rays, Rangers, Teddy Y. And then Blue Jays and Nationals, Brendan F. Oh, boy. Check something real quick. Come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, baby. I don't know why I have Doors song stuck in my head. Can't you see that I'm not afraid? All right. So I was talking about the website. We have a big league half case break over there, 10 boxes, with just 4 teams left. All of them reduced in price. So if you're interested, please check that out. And I'd love to get that broken. I thought we were going to break that a few days ago, but those last few teams, they're just not moving. All right. Let's open some cards. Good luck, everybody. I thought I was done with Series 1, but apparently not. Apparently I have one more case in me. Tops likes to just send things sometimes. It's really annoying. Forte. Although, who knows? Maybe we'll find something. I'm sorry, Brandon? Run by your... I can't quite see everything you're saying there. I'm sorry, it's blocked. If you make another comment, I'll be able to see it. I apologize. It's just the way the monitor is. Your teams? You don't know what teams you have? Okay. Let's see. Brandon, I see the Reds, Royals, Brewers, Blue Jays, Nationals. Reds, Royals, Brewers, Blue Jays, Nationals. Yeah, that's what I see. Although, I mean, this is just me writing it down. So if you have someone else, then you have someone else. I mean, just me, you know, that's in the system. If I miss something, I apologize. It's just kind of like a courtesy that I read them out. But if I miss something, I don't. That's who I have written down there. All right. Let's see. Ryan Sandberg, Grand Gamer. What's up, Chris? I saw your "Have a nice day" comment. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. It was like a little common courtesy is always nice. Phillies. No. Red Sox is Robert B. No problem, my man. No problem. I'm sorry. I have a second monitor, which is where my YouTube feed is with my OBS feed on the other one. And there's this weird like thing on YouTube that like the emoji thing in the corner for like hearts and stuff. It sits right in the comment section. So like if you're the first comment, I can only see like 75% of it. I don't know why it's there. And I tried to move it, but it won't move. So sometimes I gotta wait for people to make another comment to actually see what they they said. It's not the best way to do things. Brandon Walters. Nope. Oh, were you sick, Chris? I didn't realize. A little flu action or what was going on? I went and had a physical yesterday. Oh my lord. It's just not fun. De La Cruz rookie. But I did it. George Brett, go back. We'll see what the blood tests say and stuff. Who knows? We'll see. I went and saw a doctor. I don't see doctors like for like a regular like physical doctor very often. I have a couple doctors that I do see, but I go in and I just like apologize when they first see me. Be like, look, I'm a mess, dude, before we even get into it. So and then she was like, celebration of the kid. This was a new doctor that I saw, which was actually happy because I didn't like the doctor I had before. And she went through all this stuff and she goes, all right, well, I'm going to call in a couple things to the pharmacy and this and that. And I was like, okay, sure. So on the way home, I stopped at the pharmacy and they bring out like a shopping bag full of stuff. I was like, oh no. That's how they get you, you know? Corey Seager. But apparently I'm still alive, so I guess that's like I said, until the blood tests come back, who knows for real what's going on. Brent Rooker. Speak of the devil, Joey Votto. We were just talking about him in the last break. Joey Votto with the bat relic. That's like the relic looks weird too. It's like they cut it off, like against the grain instead of with it. It's very ragged for the Reds. There you go. So now I get to preach for a little while. So if you haven't had a physical, go get a physical. You know, you can either get good news or bad news. The one that gets me is blood pressure anymore. Like they finally figured out. I hate doctors. Okay, like which most people do. I mean, I'm certainly not. But of course, like anyone, you worry about bad news and this and that, especially as you get. I'm 50. You're getting older. You're waiting for the anvil to drop on your head with something. Not that I haven't had it happen already a few times, but so they found out that like remember how like you used to go into the doctor and they take your blood pressure right away and it was up and you'd be like, oh, you have high blood pressure and this and that. Well, they finally figured out a few years ago that you should wait about 10, 15 minutes to take someone's blood pressure because they're nervous, which we are. There's an Ellie De La Cruz home run challenge and the Riz. Nobody beats the Riz. So I used to go like years ago and get my blood pressure taken, and they said I had high blood pressure. It wasn't super high, but just like, borderline, they would always say. And it would always be a discussion every time I went. Maybe you should take some medication. Maybe you shouldn't. This, that, whatever. Well, then a couple of years ago, they started waiting like 15 minutes to take it. And now it's fine. I said, for like 10 years, you people told me I needed to take medication. And I obviously never needed it. I was just nervous when I came in. So that's a good thing, though. Dominguez. And to $2.99 for the Red Sox. Wait, run away from me there, Carl. Carl Yastrzemski on the Grand Gamers to $2.99. He drinks your beer. We don't really drink. I'm sober, so we don't. I have dogs. They don't drink beer, but that's just because we don't have any around. But I'm sure they would if I gave it to them. 120 of 299. Now you really want to do something. Get them to start bringing you the beers. Those are the dogs that impress me. They can go up and open the door and take the beer and bring it to you. That's a talent. Dog likes to get a little tipsy. My one dog's gonna learn pretty soon. I can tell you that. We have two dogs. One of them's going with my son to college next year, to University of Tennessee. So I'm sure she'll be drinking plenty of beer come next year. Mm-hmm. Yoshida throwback. Bad cold. The 6.5 pound dog. Yeah. How much there's got to be like a thing out there to figure out how much alcohol the poor dog is going to keel over on you. That's a little dog. Shohei. You only have to worry if they start drinking like vodka and stuff, I think. Then you're in trouble. Or if you come home and your beers are actually missing out of the fridge. You're like, I swear I had 2 beers when I left here this morning. And the dog's all passed out on the floor. Here's a guy who's been killing it lately. Suzuki for the Cubbies. Yeah, for once, yeah. Quickly. Yeah, I've had that happen to me before, some years back, where they were like, I don't know why, I don't know what was going on at the time. I have some, a lot of you guys know I have Parkinson's, so I do have some medical issues. But I went to the doctor one time, and for some reason my heart rate was just like all over the place, and I don't even know why, to be honest with you. Victor Medeiros, rookie, the 2024, 206 of 2024. And they hooked me up to an EKG. And the doctor was looking at it. She was like, nah, I guess you're okay. And I was like, what do you mean you guess? Like, either I am or I'm not. Am I about to have a heart attack or something? Like, that terrifies me. Excuse me. I've known people that's happened to, where like they went to the doctor and been like, you need to go to a hospital right now and go have bypass or something like that. Like, that scares the hell out of me. Like, oh, you have a blockage, you got to go. Like, well, how about next? No. Right now. You got to go right now. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, man, that sucks, dude. I hate the flu. I'll tell you, if there's one thing, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I was actually talking about this with the doctor yesterday, Blueprint Freddie Freeman. Like, I think it was because of maybe COVID or whatever. Like, I've developed an anxiety in recent years that I never had when I was younger. That, like, I don't know why. Sometimes I just get places I like freak out. Like, I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? And I swear, I think it's because of like COVID and what happened. Like, I get around a lot of people and I start thinking, like, oh, Jesus, something here's going to get me sick. Like, and I don't want to go. I went through COVID once. It was horrible. And I didn't even have it that bad. I mean, I don't think I had it well. I was sick, but not like I was in the hospital or anything like that, you know. But like, I hate that feeling, being sick like that. I really do. I mean, not that everybody doesn't, but I will go out of my way nowadays to not be around people to keep from getting sick, you know? But they do that all over the place now. Like my son in school, Ripken throwback. Excuse me. He has um this math class that he has right now. And my son goes to the University of Tennessee, which is a huge school, right? And to me, like I think of his classes like I remember my wife's classes where it was like 300 kids in an auditorium or whatever. They don't do that anymore because of COVID. So like my son's class is online. They only show up to take exams. That's it for a class like that. Jake Rogers of the Tigers, which to be honest, I really can't blame him because if a university gets another bout of COVID, like it can take the whole school out, you know. But I don't know. Like I get around people and I'm just like, you look sick. Stay away from me. Like I guess I've turned into a bit of a germaphobe or something. Like yesterday, when I went to the doctor, I was masked up, and I don't wear masks like that usually, but I was like, maybe I should put two on. Christopher Morel. Yeah, the nurse was so hot I couldn't control. You're probably right about that. To be honest. No, at the time I had been hospitalized. It's a long, boring story, but I was in the hospital for a while with this infection that got out of hand, and the heart thing happened after that, and I think it had something to do with my hospitalization and all that stuff. But I'm always terrified of you have to go to the hospital right now. Like what? We're gonna rip your chest open and whatever. Greg Maddox. Yeah, man. You know what? It's so weird now that it's in the past. You know, like, hey, things are just so different now since COVID. I don't have an opinion on what people think of COVID one way or the other. I mean, I know people that died and it was horrible, and but I think everybody's a little mentally screwed from that one. Eduardo Rodriguez for the Tigers. For Aaron, that's numbered 92 of 199. Whether you believed in it or not, I still think it did a number on all of us a little bit, you know. Um, but yeah, thank God I had that during COVID to do. It kept me busy. You know what I mean? Kept my mind off of things. Company still has hybrid work schedules. Yeah, it's funny you say that, Joe, because a lot of you guys know I own a chain of cafes, and they're in office buildings, and it destroyed my other business. I mean, thank God, honestly, thank God I was doing this already for some years before, a couple years before COVID happened, because like I had 9 cafes before COVID. I have one now, and the other ones are still there. They're just not open. Like there's just nobody in the buildings because nobody's come back to work, and it's frustrating. Like we were in a position that we were really taken off at that point, and then like in a matter of a week, it was all just destroyed. And even the one I have, it doesn't make any money. To be honest with you, it's a tax break for this. Like things definitely changed a lot because nobody's coming back to work. You still, even with some people are doing mandatory stuff, Harper throwback, but most of the offices and the companies that are where I'm at, they're all on, 2, 3 days a week, and they're never going to change and start coming back full time. All right, Chris, have a good night. Glad you're feeling better, bud. Griffey celebration of the kid. Yeah, I think I think with COVID too, it kind of, part of it was where you lived too, whether you were in the Northeast or hotter places or, bigger hot spots. Like my one sister lives in Manhattan. She had like 9 people in her building die from COVID, like in the first few months of it. It was crazy. Rays team card, 570 of 2024. And look, I've talked to people over the years about it, and you have a lot of people who didn't know anyone who was affected by it. I mean, maybe like a cold or, got sick and, felt crappy for a few days. Or I know a lot of people never even got it or never or were asymptomatic anyway. Whether they had it or not is neither here nor there. But I think it changes people's perspectives too, when you know someone who's been affected by it that way. It certainly did a number on our kids. I can tell you that. My son. So my son, when COVID was in its boom, was his freshman and sophomore year of high school. Yeah, once was definitely enough. um, my son was in his freshman and sophomore year of high school, and it was funny because when he went to take his SATs in his junior year, I said, "How'd you do on the SATs?" He goes, "I think I did pretty well, although I don't know any algebra 2." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I was lying in my bed." Like, he goes, "I never learned anything, because like my son's school day would consist of him like turning over in his bed and watching a computer screen." So it definitely had an effect on the kids. There's no doubt about that. Griffey Grand Gamers. Yeah. What? Oh, you had to teach. So what was everything online, James? Like, what do you teach? What age? I really felt bad for people with younger kids. Like I had friends of mine who were. I swear, I thought they were gonna like. I don't know what they were gonna do. Something extreme. I was worried about a lot of them, especially when they had like kids that were 8, 9 years old. Oh, there's a nice Mike Trout to 199, 128 of 199 for the Angels. For Daniel. I had a friend of mine who had an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-year-old during COVID, and I thought he was gonna like hang himself. He was so crazy because the kids were so bored, and then had to teach them and this and that. Oh God! At least mine was in high school. I just feel like, is he alive in there? Yeah, he's there. Okay. Did you get your work done? Yeah, I got it done. Algebra. That's so funny. You're actually, this is the one class my son was like, I didn't learn anything. And then when he went to take the SAT, he was like, I don't know. He did fine on the SAT, but Greg Maddox, Mary's in college now. But like, what were kids really expected to learn? Especially like, I mean, seriously, my son was an only child. He was trapped in this house for months. And I can honestly tell you, there were weeks I don't think he ever left his bed except to get up and eat. That was about it. J.P. Crawford, Rainbow Foil. I don't know if that was right or wrong to do, but it's the way it was. It's so funny that you actually teach algebra too. He used to say, as long as my name shows up, that was the thing. Like, they had the like, I guess when you logged in for your classes, your name would show up on the screen, and as long as your name showed up on the screen, that's all that mattered. They didn't care if you actually paid attention. They just wanted to say that you were there. Henry Davis, Red Sox. Daughter started kindergarten. Oh man. Yeah, it would. The worst part of it was, especially with something like math. I mean, I had a hard enough time with my son when he was in like grade school and all the new math they do nowadays. And I'd be like, this doesn't make sense. Why don't you just do this? Well, that's not what they teach. And it's like, so I was thinking about people with younger kids and like knew math and stuff, like who'd never learned that way, had to like sit home and teach themselves first, you know. The problem with it for high school kids anyway, and because that's, you know, what I dealt with at the time, so it's what I have some knowledge in. Like there were kids I knew that my son went to school with forever who were straight A students who after COVID they couldn't even barely get to school. You know, like they just like gave up. And luckily my son wasn't that way, but I know a lot of his friends who were just like, what does it matter? You know what I mean? After spending 2 years at home, like they just didn't have it in them. And I would talk to other parents who'd be like, I don't even know what to do to get these kids going again, you know? Um, my son was in the sports, so like it was important to him to get back because he wanted to play ball and stuff, you know. But it did a number on a lot of kids, that's for sure. I think maybe in the case of some of the younger kids, besides what they weren't learning, at least might not have, you know, been as dramatic in that sense, you know. Kirilov for the Twinnies for Nathan. Some funny moments. Someone didn't mute their mic. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I think that's something. It seemed like offices people had to learn how to be on Zoom calls and stuff. That's so funny. I know my wife said one time she was at our dining room table and working, and I must have been asleep. And she was having a conference call, and I was in the back, like talking in my sleep or something. And she came over and kicked me. She's like, "You got to get up." I'm like, "You got to find somewhere else to go and do this meeting," you know? And she used to get so upset when the dogs would bark. And I go, "Everyone's at home. They understand." You know, like, Mike Trout, home run challenge. It's a good one. Trouty's been hitting lately. I'm knocking my stuff over. Whoop. The elementary school teacher did that. Oh, God. That's so funny. Yeah, well, once was enough for this lifetime. You know, every generation kind of has something that's, whether it's, you know, our parents and Kennedy's assassination, or the assassinations of the 60s, or, you know, things that happened to us when we were younger, whether it be from, uh, you know, the Challenger explosion to 9/11, like in that whole kind of area, you know, you wonder if COVID is the thing of that generation. You know what I mean? Like, and God, you hope you never have to go through it again. That's for sure. Brian Wu, number to 299 for the Mariners on the throwback. Teddy. There you go, bud. I love these cards. They're so nice looking, but the black borders are great when they're intact. When they get chippy, then they're terrible. This one looks great. This one for the Mariners. And Ryan Jeffers for the Twins. 181 of 2024. For Nathan. Good buddy. So this is the first 4 boxes of a fresh case. We're doing the rest of it this weekend. Just FYI, if you guys are interested. Tomorrow and Saturday. Tyler Wells, rainbow foil for the Orioles. The random case that Tops decided to send along. Pete Alonso, greatest hits. Students of the game. Luciano rookie. Correa throwback. Yeah, man. That's what I'm hoping for. Henry Davis rookie. Joey Votto. Speaking of Joey Votto, we were talking about him in the last break. Is he on Toronto? Did he make Toronto, or is he in the minors, or what's? Does anybody know? De La Cruz rookie. I was shocked. I was saying in the last break because the Phillies just played the Reds, and I kind of forgot that Miggy retired last year. And I was like, wait a second, did he? And then I was reading a thing, and I was watching the game. I was like, where's Joey Votto? And then I guess he didn't play much last year. Not that I follow him that closely, but he's been on the Reds forever. And somebody said he was with Toronto, but I don't know if he's actually playing for them or not. Bobby Witt on the Major League Materials for the Royals for Brandon. Come on, give us at least one auto. Jeez. Bobby Witt. Dominguez rookie. Oh, he's on a rehab assignment. Okay. Like I said, I don't follow him very closely, but I mean, like he's been with the Reds forever, and then they came to play the Phillies, and I was like, wait a second, where's Joey Votto? And then the announcer actually mentioned something like during the game about it, that he was no longer with them, and I was surprised. But I guess, like I said, I read a little bit online. I guess he didn't play much last year. I guess he was hurt or something, and then went to Toronto. Trout blueprint. But I was also thinking, I mean, Vladdy's the first baseman for them. I mean, unless they're going to use him as like a DH or something. I don't know. He's been around for a long time. God, I'm so happy baseball's back. Really, I like other sports. I love football, but it's funny. The more years I go on, the more I realize I am such a bigger baseball fan than anything else. Soderstrom, throwback. And I would not have said that I hated baseball when I was a kid, but I think unless you play or are good at it as a kid, it's not uncommon because it's a little slower to kids or whatever. But it's funny until I used to collect cards when I was a kid, but that was collecting cards. You know what I mean? That was a different thing. But um, until I lived in Chicago in the '90s was when I kind of really got into baseball as a sport. And it's funny, my company transferred me to Chicago. This was in '97, I think. And it was one of these things where my company was like, we need to transfer you to Chicago. You're going to leave in 2 weeks. And I'm like, all right. And then they're like, no, we need you to leave in a week. I'm like, all right. And then the next day they were like, we need you to get on a plane tonight. I was like, oh, geez, okay. And I lived out there for like 4 years. And when I was flying out there that first time, I got talking to a guy next to me on the plane. Kind of told him my situation with my company moving me there and all that stuff. And He was a nice guy. He was telling me a little bit about Chicago. I mean, I had been there, but I didn't really know it at all, you know. And finally, the plane landed, and we were getting up and getting off the plane. He's like, "There's just one question you have to answer before you get off this plane." And I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "White Sox or Cubs?" And I was like, and I realized, like in Chicago, the appreciation for baseball is back then anyway was amazing. Nice Anthony Volpe, future stars for the Yanks. My man Joe. 52 of 499. Their lineup is crazy, but again, I stick with the adage that the Dodgers choke. They do. They always choke. So I mean, I honestly the Braves are unbelievable. They really are. I mean, the Braves could take them. Um, all right, who do we got here? Chris Bassett. So we got Toronto, Tampa Bay, and the Yankees. So Yankees is Joe. Tampa Bay is Teddy. Toronto is Brandon. So we'll have to roll a die on that one at the end. Atlanta certainly has the chops. The Orioles maybe, the Phillies maybe. And not that the Phillies are playing great right now, but I think they have the experience and everything to do it. But they do look good, and Mookie Betts is just going crazy right now. I mean, Mookie right now is like somebody said in the last break, like God mode right now. It's crazy. Aaron Judge greatest hits, but you know, like I said, and this isn't to any Dodger fans out there. It's not a slight on you guys. They do have a tendency to not do well in the playoffs at all, and until they really break that streak, you know, I got to imagine they're not invincible. You know. Now this year they may prove me different. That's for sure, but we'll see. They're going to be fun to watch. And a team like that is fun to watch when you get in the dog days, too, because sometimes, and I say this, and okay, again, I'm a Phillies fan. I live in Philadelphia, so I understand I'm slightly biased when it comes to the Braves. Kyle Harrison, rookie throwback. Um, you know, one of the reasons the Braves has lost the last years is because they tend to be a kind of individual team where they like play for themselves and not as a team, where the Phillies are kind of different that way. They're more of like a team set, you know, and I think that's what it takes in the playoffs. Um, but they are extremely talented, both of those teams, I'll tell you. And go 2 for 4 and see your average drop. Yeah, right. I know it's insane. I mean, he really is. Yeah, it's funny too because Mookie Betts is one of those guys who's always been, you know, a top 10 player or whatever. But you know, he went out to LA and he was a little quiet there for a while, and then COVID happened and all that stuff, you know, so that all added to it. But man, like you think the guy at some point is going to be on like the downslide of his career, and he certainly doesn't look it at all. I don't even know how old Mookie Betts is, so maybe I shouldn't say that, but he's been around for quite a while, you know. But man, he is a talent, and that 1, 2, 3 lineup is just sickening, really sickening. Yeah, Harper went nuts the other night. Yeah. And that's the thing with the Phillies. I see the sad part about being a Phillies fan is they have a great team, but if they're going to do it, they got to do it soon because they do not have the farm system coming up. Like, unfortunately, a few years down the line, we're going to be facing some tough times unless we get some surprises out of the farm system or some really good trades, which makes me nervous. But Harper is, and again, I realize there are people out there who are not a big fan of him, and yes, I am biased, but he is one of the most clutch baseball players I've ever seen in my life. Like he's, you know, you always kind of say, "Oh, this guy's going to hit a home run." He's one of the few guys you actually say it and like, dude, he's going to hit a home run right here, and he does. You know, it's insane. Like it's impressive, that's for sure, and it's fun. You know, I'll tell you, the team is that Norfolk Tide team that the Orioles have. Their AAA team. I think they could come up and beat about 80% of the whole league with that team they got down there. That AAA team is ridiculous. But Heston Kjerstad had 10 RBIs the other day, and Stowers had 3 home runs, and then Jackson Holiday just happens to be on the team too. You know, guy hits like 500. It's insane. There's Mookie right there. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying before though about the dog days of summer. Sometimes when you get a team like the Dodgers, like the Braves, where you have a lot of individual talent, like extreme amounts of individual talent, sometimes the egos get in the way a little bit. And I'm not saying it will, but and when you get when you're in game like 120 of the season, those things start to show a little bit. Chinks in the armor, Jeter. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like anything else, once you get to the playoffs, all bets are off. It's always who's playing the best at that time. And I mean, we see it happen all the time in sports, where, the team that's not supposed to win wins, and because they just happen to be playing the best at that moment. That's what makes sports the ultimate reality show. For the Pirates, Jared Turillo, rookie auto. Again, very nice in the black border. 75 of 199 for Richard. Betts is 31. Yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense. He's still got some good years in him. Baseball's one of the sports where you can be, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's guys who play a long time in football and stuff, but for the most part, they don't. But baseball's one of the sports where you're like, this guy's been around a long time, but he started playing when he was 18. So you're like, yeah, he's 31, but he's still got some time. Julio. That's like the line from Moneyball. We all get told when we can no longer play the kids game. Some of it's at 18 and some of it at 40, but we all get told. Well, I guess some just get better with age. And Braves team card. Yeah. Well, and I think there's a thing about that, in baseball and in all sports. I mean, really, that's that swagger, the way you carry yourself. But there's a big difference between being an obnoxious jerk and being confident. And you see it all the time in players. And I'm not saying that the obnoxious jerk part doesn't help. It does in a lot of cases, especially in like football, wide receivers, stuff like that. That bravado, makes them scarier in a way and makes them even better. But you can also carry that bravado and be a likable guy at the same time. And some of them are like Harper comes off that way here. He's loved here. Oh my gosh. And not just because he can play ball. People just, the way he kind of takes to the city. I mean, people just love him. And what's his name was that way too. The guy's with the Race Hoskins, who's with the Brewers now. He was kind of the same way here. Clemente Grand Gamers. All right, let's open some silver packies. Good luck, everybody. All right, Tony Gwynn, Kyle Harrison, rookie, Mason Wynn, rookie, and Corey Seager. Sonny Gray, Emmett Sheehan, rookie, Bryant, and Andrew Abbott, rookie. Sonny Gray again, Emmett Sheehan again, Ryan, Chris Bryant again, Andrew Abbott again. Same pack, twice in a row. All right. Last pack. Tony Gwynn, Kyle Harrison, Mason Wynn, and Corey Seager. That was weird. That was 2 of the same packs. Interesting. Okay. All right there, Tops. Way to go with the old collation. All right. All right, folks. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. As always, I couldn't do this without y'all, and I do truly, truly appreciate it. We will be here all weekend, so with more Series 1 and a bunch of other stuff. Elite Extra and Big League and all kinds of stuff. So, as I said earlier, go check out the website. We got a bunch of breaks up over there. So go check those out. We do have this one rainbow foil that we got to roll some dice on. So, Toronto is going to be number 1 and 2. Tampa Bay is going to be 3 and 4. And the Yankees are going to be 5 and 6. We're going to roll one of our new Tennessee dies that someone, Bryce sent me. The T is the one. So it has to stay on the screen. It can't hit anything. Like if it hits the card or something over here, it's cracked and we roll it again. And if it goes off screen, we roll it again. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. And it's a 3. So it's going to the Rays. Zach Eflin and the Rays, which is Teddy. There you go, buddy. Going out to you, Teddy. All righty. Let's put a quick hit recap together, and then we'll get out of here. All right, James Carter, thank you, boys. Have a great night. Appreciate it. Excuse me. All right, hit recap for 2024 Top Series 1/3 Hobby Case Break number 27. Rookies out of our silver packs: Wynn, Harrison, Abbott, Sheehan, and the same 4 again because we got the same packs. We'll make sure they're sleeved and top loaded. Wait a second. Let me put these in a touch of order. These, of course, will all be top loaded too. All right. Rainbow foils. Tyler Wells, Anthony Rizzo, Atlanta, Kirilloff, Crawford, Jake Rogers, and Suzuki. Some rookies: De La Cruz, Dominguez, and De La Cruz. The Home Run Challenge cards, we had Mookie Betts, De La Cruz, and Trout. We did have that other league leaders we randomed. Anthony Volpe to $4.99, Yastrzemski to $2.99, Brian Wu to $2.99, Eduardo Rodriguez to $1.99, to 2024 Ryan Jeffers, Tampa Bay, and Victor Medeiros. Joey Votto relic, not numbered, and the Major League Material Bobby Witt. Mike Trout with the bat relic, throwback 128 of 199, and Jared Trillo auto for the Pirates to 199. All right, folks, again, everyone have a wonderful, safe, and healthy night, and I hope to see you all this weekend. Take care. Bye.